A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant display of solidarity, thousands of protesters took to the streets of Sydney today, marching across the iconic Sydney Harbour Bridge in a pro-Palestine rally. The event, which unfolded under a heavy police presence, saw notable figures such as WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who has maintained a low profile since his return to Australia last year, actively participating and engaging with demonstrators. Despite the inclement weather, with rain and strong winds, the turnout was impressive, showcasing the public's determination to voice their concerns over the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The rally commenced in the Central Business District, CBD, where former Socceroo and activist Craig Foster addressed the crowd, urging the Australian government to withdraw military support and aid to Israel. As a country, we have said much but acted little, Foster declared, emphasizing the urgent need to address the plight of the children in Gaza. He called for an immediate end to violence, the release of hostages, and the freedom of Palestinian detainees held without charge. Greens Senator Mehreen Faruqi also spoke to the assembled crowd, criticizing NSW Premier Chris Minns for his attempts to shut down the demonstration earlier in the week. "We are here from all walks of life, representing a multicultural and multi-faith community. Thank you for defying the Premier's wishes and standing up against genocide," she stated passionately, highlighting the diverse nature of the protest. Premier Minns had previously acknowledged the protesters' concerns, but expressed that the closure of the bridge would significantly inconvenience the city. In contrast, protest organizers, led by Palestine Action Group's Josh Lees, announced plans for a National Day of Humanity in the coming weeks to further raise awareness about the dire conditions in Gaza. Safety was a primary concern for the authorities, with Acting Assistant Commissioner Adam Johnson confirming that hundreds of police officers had been deployed to manage the crowd and mitigate risks associated with crowd crush scenarios. "We don't know how many people will show up. It could be anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000, he noted, emphasizing the unpredictability of the turnout. Police officials urged the public to adhere to safety instructions while ensuring that they would not tolerate any unlawful behavior during the protest. As the march progressed, protesters gathered at Lang Park before making their way across the Harbour Bridge, with the final destination being Bradfield Park in Milsons Point. The bridge was closed for several hours, marking the event as a historic moment in the ongoing advocacy for Palestinian rights. Officials from Transport for NSW advised that public transport would be stretched, encouraging individuals to avoid non-essential travel to ease congestion on the rail network. In Melbourne, a parallel rally took place at the State Library, organized by the Free Palestine Coalition. Participants were encouraged to bring pots and pans as a symbolic gesture to draw attention to the starvation crisis in Gaza. Organizers expressed solidarity with the Sydney demonstration, calling on the federal government to impose sanctions against Israel for its actions. Speeches at the Melbourne rally echoed similar sentiments, criticizing both the federal and Victorian governments for their lack of action in addressing the conflict and the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The march in Melbourne was set to weave through the city, concluding at the King Street Bridge, while police urged protesters to choose alternative routes to avoid disrupting emergency services and daily life. The demonstrations in both cities reflect a growing urgency among Australians to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, with many citizens calling for immediate action from their government. As the situation continues to evolve, the voices of those advocating for peace and justice remain resolute, demanding that their concerns be heard and addressed. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.